we have draft reactions to go through. There's been quite a lot of wholesome moments, even though the draft was virtual this year. And I was a little bit skeptical, to be honest, if it was going to be as, heartwarming. There were a lot of incredible moments, even though, Zoom basically provided it all for us. I think we can start by saying, that number one pick going where we thought, Lafreniere going to the New York Rangers was obviously not a surprise, but exciting to see the future of the NHL get his moment. And what were your takes on, that star kind of getting to be on Broadway now?
I really enjoyed seeing Times Square, and just his, him on the billboard and everything, because I don't know, to me, that's just very normal. Like, look at that. Look at life happening,
cool.
And everyone's wearing a mask and everything. But it actually sort of reminded me, like, oh yeah, there's going to be another hockey season. I've been locked up for way too long. And I thought when he was picked, it was pretty awkward. He's just sitting in the living room with his parents in a suit.
Yeah.
And like,
look at the Gatorade bottles.
I didn't even notice that.
It's so awkward.
Oh my God, and just in silence, and it really drove home that, like, dude, take off the tag. You're going number one. What are you doing? But it was, holy smokes, how tall must his dad be? But it really drove home just how different this draft was. Just the kind of awkwardness of it all. It was quaint, pleasantly delightful.
It was an interesting way to start, because obviously we all kind of knew this was going to happen, and they still took the whole 5-minute period. And I know there was a bunch of hype videos and stuff, but I was like, if this is the pace we're starting the NHL draft at, even though this guy is like unanimous number one, and it's going to take the full 5 minutes, no wonder today we're still going through the NHL draft, and it's like 3 days later.
Yeah, Ailish, so the New York Rangers should be fined for that. And I'm going to throw another team in there, the Detroit Red Wings. Because they had the first pick today, the 32nd, and they're like, you have the first pick of the day. And then I saw Chris Draper start talking to his coworkers. I'm like, you've had 14 hours to talk about this, Christopher. How don't you know who you're about to pick? Go to jail.
Wait, there should be
a fine. I don't know. I don't know. Just come on. I can't believe we're not even in the 7th round. The show's going to end before the draft does.
Yeah, well, it must be interesting for them to be doing that virtually, but you're right. They had the entire night to choose. Like, nothing changed overnight. You should have had your pick ready, but, people are going to we can't control it. But that was a bit frustrating for sure. But, some more positive things that did happen was I really loved seeing Quinton Byfield being drafted second. Newmarket, Ontario we're basically neighbors. There's an amazing video from his family celebrating. He's the highest drafted Black player ever, which was an incredible moment and super well deserved. So I was really glad to see that. And I love the suit. People were kind of like, oh, it looks like prom. I'm like, I love it. Good for him. Be bold.
How fancy was your prom? Are you kidding me?
I did go to private school, so I mean, it was a bit fancy.
Oh, okay. I got you. I didn't like the Bruins jersey in the background. I didn't appreciate that very much, but stylish. And like, again, he had time to prepare. So like, he had confetti, and there were different. Basically, he didn't just stand there in silence with his parents, which I really appreciated. What a unit! Look at that.
Unit. We love it.
It's so, I hate to make the unfair comparisons, but I see two defenders trying to latch onto him on a breakaway, and I'm just like, God, that reminds me of Mario. That reminds me so much of Mario. I mean, no one can touch Mario, but sure looked like it.
I really enjoyed some of the draft comparisons too that would pop up, and it'd be like, this player is just like this player. And like, I think it's interesting as a scout to be like, it's a lot of pressure to say, like, imagine I got drafted and they're like, the Ailish Forfar has a future like Marie-Philippe Poulin. I'd be like, there's no way. I'm just going to retire now. But like, a lot of these players are getting drafted, and I like the comparable idea because it's like, okay, that's the type of, forward that he might be. But also like a bit nerve-wracking if I was getting drafted to see, they think I'm going to be like this player. So here's a like a rundown of the first round. And we did see some, as we were saying last week, that the top 15 were going to be, pretty interchangeable. There wasn't that many surprises, I don't think. I mean, I'm not a draft expert, but everyone seemed to kind of be happy with how the first round went in a sense.
Well, and I saw Rodion Amirov, who the Leafs took there at 15, and you were talking about comparables. His own agent, Dan Milstein, was on Sportsnet 590 The Fan today saying, I think he's going to be the next Nikita Kucherov. Like, come on. That's supposed to be someone in his corner.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But what do you think about who the Leafs drafted at 15th? You know, people love to, Leafs Nation is a tough one to please, but, you know, you have your finger on that pulse. So I want to get your 1-minute summary of the Leafs getting, he's Russian, correct?
Yes.
It was sad that we didn't get to see like a live look into his room and his family, but then I looked and it was like 6 a.m. and I'm like, oh, that probably makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I watched the 2012 draft from Scotland, and the Leafs had the 5th pick, and even staying up for that, it was like 2 a.m. I'm like, man, if you watch the NHL live from Europe, you must really love hockey. So the stat at the bottom there, Rodion Amirov, 21 games played, 2 points. Everyone's freaking out. What are you doing drafting this guy? That's not the full story. So first of all, the KHL, it's very difficult to play in that league as a teenager. It's it's a grown-up league, basically. Arguably the second best league in the world. Then there's the VHL, which is basically the equivalent would be the AHL, and he played a few games in that last year. And then there's the MHL, where he was basically playing against his peers, other juniors. And he lit that up. He had 22 points in 17 games. He was one of only 4 players on his team to have over a point per game. So to say he only had 2 points is ridiculous. And as long as we're cherry picking just his KHL stats, what's interesting about this draft is you get to kind of cheat. You're not drafting them in June and imagining what they're going to be like next season. Mm-hmm. You actually get to see. So he's played about a month worth of hockey or a few weeks worth of hockey. And so far he's already beaten his point total from last season with 5 points in 10 games so far. So, everyone's ripping Kyle Dubas. We want to get bigger, tougher. You need a defenseman. Fair enough. And I agree. But your 15th overall pick is not going to fix your team overnight. It's a good pick.
So give me a grade, like if you're a teacher. E+, A minus, A+.
I'm going to say a grade that I was always thrilled with, B+.
Okay. We could take that. I want to see what the chat's thinking. If you had to grade the Leafs first round draft pick, let me know. I have a really serious question though. Do you think Marner and Riley were being held hostage last night? Because it really seemed, I think we have footage of it, that especially Morgan Riley, it seemed like he might have been held hostage in the background with that jersey.
I can't believe this.
15th overall selection in this year's 2020 NHL Draft. We are proud. Toronto Maple Leafs are proud to select from UFO the KHL Rodion Amirov.
That's gonna be a meme. That's gonna be a meme for years to come. If Amirov ends up sucking, it's just gonna be Riley going, holding up his jersey, looking all upset. He looks like the most disappointed hockey dad. Like I can hear him breathe through his nose.
We need to see it again. Also for me, it's like he keeps like looking to the left, like kind of like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? And then he pulls the jersey and his little smirk. Oh, it's so good.
I know that look. He's looking at the clock. What time is recess? When can I punch out? That's exactly what he's at.
That was one of my favorite moments.
Mitch Marner, at least in terms of fan perception, has had a pretty tough year, obviously because of the contract negotiation. But that little smirk at the end, my friend Justin Fisher tweeted, and I think he summed it up perfectly. I can't stay mad at this idiot.
Right.
He's adorable.
Oh, we have a good comment from Anthony I. Blink twice if you're safe, Mitch. That's really what it felt like. Like, help me.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God.
That was one of my favorite moments for sure. And it blew up on Twitter.
Did he have to get permission for that tattoo? I didn't think he was old enough to get one.
Yeah, I was like, when did Marner get tatted up? Like, different guy.
Legit. It makes him look like 2 years older. Yeah.
Some other great moments. Let's keep going through them. Obviously we know Alex Trebek is a national treasure, and I really thought it was, a beautiful moment with the Ottawa Senators having him announce their draft pick. So we have a video of that too, but I just wanted to make sure everybody got a chance to see that in case you missed it, because he's a fan favorite. So I think we have that video for everybody here.
Here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Jeopardy. Our category today is the NHL, and here is the clue for you. With the third pick in the 2020 NHL Draft, the Ottawa Senators choose this player. The correct response, who is Tim Stützle?
Oh, that was wonderful. And a great draft for the Germans. I know people were saying, like, Germany is coming. And it was, obviously a third overall pick. I think with that one, you saw a lot of Germans getting picked in the first couple rounds. And so a testament to them growing their hockey dominance. And, this was a big pickup. People were really pumped about it. And Ottawa, I think, was coming into this with a lot of pressure, being, having all these choices and having a pretty terrible result last season. So we have a question here from Papa in the chat. Papa? He says, Ottawa was poised to do well. How did they shape up? And I mean, today they also got another acquisition, which we can talk about later. But your first thoughts on Ottawa's drafting, with the pressure that they had?
Well, my first thought is this jersey is beautiful. My second is Stützle was dressed like Leonardo DiCaprio as the Great Gatsby. Honestly, for a team that, like you said, has had a tough couple of years, starting with, like, I don't know, what would you say, the Uber video? And I know that was how many Ottawa Senators scandals ago.
Yikes.
It's been a tough go, but they had 3 picks in the first round. Tim Stützle looks like a Tim Studzla, you see, because I know, very good. Jake Sanderson, who had one of the most awkward pauses of the night because of the delay. Look at that move. That's ridiculous and unfair. And also at 28th overall, they had Ridley Grieg, big center. So there's 3 picks in the first round. You have 3 picks in the first round, including 2 in the top 5. You know what you don't need at all? A second. Pitch that out the door, and then you can get Matt Murray, which is what they did today. So they have a new starting goaltender and 3 firsts they can build for the future with. It's absolutely fantastic for them. And the Jets, I really like that Cole Perfetti pick as well. I know the Flames must have really liked Zari because they traded down twice and still seemingly got their guy. It was a pretty good first round for Canada.
Yeah, no, I think the Canadians had quite the amount of picks, and also a lot of players were being drafted that were Canadian. And I think we have a board to show how many Canadians went in the first round. It was almost a historical round for Canada athletes. There they are right now. 19 Canadians taken in the first round. I mean, I'm not going to be cocky or anything, but, like, just hand us the gold medal.
Oh, I mean, number one, obviously. Was it even a question? I'm surprised to see 4 Russians. I guess that was just the first round. I would love to know how many Russians were drafted this year and what % of them have gone to the Leafs. It seems like over half their picks are Russian so far, and it's not even done yet. There might even be more.
There's probably more while we're on this show right now. We'll have to get that updated graphic if we could one day, if we're still on air by the end of this draft. But yeah, it was a great, obviously, first round for Canadian athletes. And then I think in the second round, it ended up being like everybody from the U.S. national development team was drafted in like a stretch of 5 drafts. So it kind of comes and goes in waves, but this year definitely seemed like a pretty heavy Canada draft. One of my favorite moments I need to share was with San Jose. It was the very last draft of the first round yesterday with Ozzy Weisblott. And so I hope everybody's been able to see this. It was a pretty viral moment, but they drafted with sign language because of his parents being deaf. So we have a really good video
the
of that
San Jose
to
Sharks
show too.
are proud to select from the Prince Albert Raiders, Ozzy Weisblott.
Pick number 31, and that's fantastic with sign language as well. And Sammy, you're giving us the thumbs up. Ozzy Weisblott from Calgary, Alberta is formerly a member of, well, still with the Prince Albert Raiders of the Western Hockey League, a member of the San Jose Sharks.
Oh, it's so beautiful, yeah. And honestly, there's a really great, I don't want to plug everything that's Sportsnet, but this is a real, like, amazing feature that was done on his upbringing. It's more than just his family having deaf parents, but, you know, the sacrifices that his family had to take. I think they have 5 sons that play hockey. It's a really incredible story. So if you get a chance to watch this feature, check it out. That was probably one of the most, like, wholesome and complete moments of the draft, I thought. So glad that we could show that for everybody.